Hey St. Mark, it's Jeff Clay back to give you an update on where we stand with the transition here at the church. Before I give you a lot of information and details about where we are now, I wanted to take a minute to go back to the beginning and talk through what we've done so far. If you remember back in December when Pastor John announced he was taking the district superintendent job, the church board had actually already been discussing transition plans to take place in 2 summers from right now. At that point, the church board discussed and interviewed and hired Vanderbloemen Search Group to come alongside of us and help us in this process. If you remember, we sent a survey out to the church. We took those responses. We took the information that's contained in our bylaws. We looked at the Missionary Church Constitution, and we wrote a job profile, a candidate profile that Vanderbloemen posted on their website that was live for the past 2.5-3 months. A few weeks ago, we let you know that Vanderbloemen had brought us 8 candidates. And let me tell you that those 8 candidates were high qualified candidates. Including in those 8 was Pastor Adam. From those 8, the church board then began to go to work, and the transition team interviewed 4 of them after listening to sermons, reading through interviews, and personal faith statements, and everything that goes into being a candidate for a senior pastor role. The next step was for us to get Pastor John involved in his new role as the district superintendent. And so this past week, Pastor John interviewed the candidates and had a theology discussion with them to make sure that even the finest points of theology match with St. Mark's theology and the missionary church as a whole. He talked about hot button topics, things that are applicable in the church today that we're seeing around the United States and around the world. Last night, Pastor John reported back to the transition team and gave us the information that detailed what his recommendations on whether or not these candidates would be able to obtain licensing in the missionary church. So now is where the church board and the transition team has some really great and difficult decisions to make. We really need you to continue to pray for us. We know that many of you have been praying for us, and it's been humbling to hear from so many of you who said to us, "We're praying for you. We're involved in this. We care about this process." Some of you were able to come this past Sunday night and join us for a night of worship and prayer as we laid all of the concerns and all of the fears that we have through this whole transition process at the feet of the Lord. And we are scheduled to have another one of those worship nights next Sunday night, August 22nd, where we'll do the same thing and put it in front of the Lord and ask for His will to be done. You need to know that the church board is now scheduling in-person final interviews for candidates. Pastor Adam is a finalist. So as we go through this process, please continue to pray for us. Please continue to support us, and we appreciate all your support and your prayers in the past. Thank you so much, and we'll be excited to tell you more news as it comes available down the road.